Okay, what do I do? And I can't do that. Can't do that because I'm not. I can't. 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 Hmm. Hmm. Good afternoon, good evening. How are you? I have a funny feeling that you are Alexis. Is that true?
That is correct.
Well, I'm cheating really because your name is on my roster. And in the attempt to do a good job subbing for Steve, I looked at a couple of his recorded classes and you popped up. So I was like, oh, a familiar face. So hi, Alexis.
Hello.
My name is Cheryl. I am new to the Zenner family. Just been teaching with, I guess it's almost a month. Time just flies, but have not had the opportunity yet to study with Steve. So I loved watching that class. Oh, it was so,
it is zen. It is really zen.
It was juicy, as my friends and I like to say. So it is just you and I tonight. Oh, let me say, this is the Gentle Hatha Align. So when they look at the recordings, they get that right. Is there anything in particular you would like to work on or to avoid? I have a plan, I have a thought, but I usually just start with that and then I see what happens, sort of go with the flow and see how I feel and go that direction.
I'm open to anything. Just anything you want to do. I just want to, get my body moving.
Move and breathe. Move and breathe.
Yep. Whatever you've got, though, I'm game for.
We'll try.
Awesome.
And always you have the option to to wave frantically because I won't be watching you, or to just speak up and say, you know what, I don't like that, or I didn't understand that. So feel free, because it's just the two of us tonight.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking, what I have in mind, my teacher always says, teach from where you're at. What's happening in your life, come from that place of authenticity. Well, I've been in a place in my life where, as I described to my friend, my life is like a kaleidoscope. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Do they even make them anymore? I don't.
Occasionally you come across them. Yeah.
I need a kaleidoscope, but I feel like in the last, I don't know, 3, 6, 20, 100 months, I don't know, that the kaleidoscope has turned and the pieces are forming a new pattern, but I'm not quite sure what that pattern is going to be yet. So I feel like I'm in the need of some grounding. So
Okay.
when I was thinking about this today, I thought, you know what? I think we're going to spend some time rolling around on the floor and just really sort of getting grounded just a little bit. So I have my mat set up behind me. It's far enough away. So normally when I'm teaching, you can see top of my head to the soles of my feet, because I work with a lot of beginners and they need to see. They can't just, they need to see. So if that's too far away, let me know. We'll play with it. I'm going to try, once I move back, you'll need to give me a sound check. Give it about 3 sentences is what I found. Normally, I can project well enough that the computer will pick up my voice and I don't need to use the mic. And the beauty of that is, if it's okay with you, I've got some soft woo-woo chakra balancing music that I'll play in the background. So like I say, that tells you that Zoom did not freeze and that I didn't just leave the room. I got bored and went to, so that when we're sort of laying and just breathing and just being, there's that little bit of floating going on in the background. But if we need the mic, it's plugged in, charged up, and ready to go. I just like to, it also tends to pick up if I clear my throat, if my tummy rumbles, kind of, like, what if I don't have to do that? And it won't pick up the ambient noise. So it won't pick up the music, which also means it doesn't pick up the cat meowing when he's ready to play.
I have that also, so it's all good.
You got that.
That will make me feel right at home.
Yeah. And he's, one of the two has already wandered down. So as soon as I lay down on the mat, I expect to have a nice weight in the middle of my belly. So, all right, well then let me turn on the music, move across to my mat, get started, and we will start today. Let's start in constructive rest. So find your way over to your mat. I'll do the same. Lay down flat on your back. Now, I don't know how much yoga experience you have, so I'll probably make you crazy by talking too much. But I like to give a lot of verbal cues so that people are not craning their necks to see all the time. But you can relax and just do you. So let's meet on the mat. See if the volume is appropriate. See if the music volume is appropriate. And we'll start out in constructive rest. So if you would, come down flat on your back. Knees bent and lifted, heels in near hips. Relax your shoulders to the mat and let your arms sprawl out. Let your hands go wide of your hips. Perhaps the palms up so the fingers can relax. Knees bent and lifted. Begin to walk the feet as wide as your mat. So take the baby toes out to touch the edge of your mat. And then allow your knees to drop in and rest on one another. Now take a moment here to find the posture. Build the foundation of the posture so every part of you that touches the earth, find that connection. Perhaps the soles of your feet, pick up your toes, spread them out, set them down. Find the 4 corners of your feet where they touch the mat. Make sure that your legs are fully supported. If it feels like you need any muscular engagement at all, we need to shift. Feet may need to come closer to the hips or further away, a little wider or a little more narrow, but the knees should fully support one another. Then slide your attention up to your hips. Maybe give the hips a little wiggle, the low back a little kiss to the mat to find the sweet spot. Perhaps allowing the hips to settle and a gentle curve in the low back. Bring your attention on up to your upper back and to your shoulders. Ask your shoulders what they need today. Do they need to be tucked under or walked out? Explore that. What do you need today? Bring your attention on up to your head. Perhaps massage the back of your head on the mat. Start from side to side and then maybe a little tucking of the chin and untucking. Finding some length in the cervical spine. And again, finding the sweet spot where the head can rest easy. So now that we have the foundation built, let's start on the front side of the body and work our way back down. Soften the big muscle in your brow. Allow your forehead to ease. Soften your eyes. Soften your eyes again. Soften your cheeks. Relax your jaw. Let your shoulders melt. Open your heart. Hands can stay where they're at, or maybe you'd like to draw them in and rest them on your belly. Notice how the belly rises and falls with the breath. Check in with the hips, the knees, the feet. Are there adjustments that would make you 1% more comfortable? Take them. Begin to connect with your breath. Notice how your breath is moving today. What story is your breath telling you? Is it long, slow, deep, and easy? Or is it a little shorter, shallow? Not right or wrong. We're not here to judge. We're here for awareness. So just become aware of the way the breath is moving in the body today. We'll check back in with it at the end of the practice and see if anything changed. The most important thing we'll do on the mat tonight is breathe. If we get that right, nothing else matters. So take the time with the breath. As we begin to move a little bit, move with your breath. I'll make suggestions on how we're going to move and what we're going to do, but it's your journey. Do what feels right for you. Leaving the bulk of the body in this constructive rest pose, hands on the belly. Begin to slide the hands up and overhead. Let the hands meet on the floor overhead. Now, if that's too much, slide the hands back down closer to the head. Find a little openness in the shoulders. Allow the collarbones to spread. Awareness back to the breath. Next inhale, allow both hands to float up to the sky as if they were filled with helium. And then allow the shoulders to melt back to the mat. The hands held high by invisible energy reaching down from the universe. And then moving very slowly, deliberately. Left hand stays where it is. Right hand reaches up a little higher. Shoulder comes out of the socket just a bit. And then we slowly lower it back down. Let's to the left side, perhaps moving with the breath. Inhale as you slowly inch the fingertips toward the sky. And exhale as the shoulder slowly comes back to rest on the mat. Inhale to take the right arm higher. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift the left fingertips. And exhale to lower. Continue that pattern moving with your breath. Let's do about another 3 rounds. Slowly, gently flossing the shoulders. When you're finished with those 3 rounds, bring the hands to touch, palms can meet. This time on our inhale, we'll take the joined hands, the palms touching, reaching up and overhead. Thumbs might come to the carpet, they might not. Inhale, we'll float the hands up toward the sky, allowing them to drift on down toward the knees with the exhale. Inhale, float the hands up toward the sky, and with the exhale, let the hands float overhead. Let the breath guide the movement. Continue this pattern. Let the breath determine the speed that you move. So the hands come to the end of the arc at the same time the breath is complete. 2 more of these, moving with the breath. Last one, taking your time. Inhaling, letting the arms float up and over. Exhale as they slide down. Inhale as they come back up. Finish that out with the hands reaching for the sky. 1 breath cycle here with the hands reaching up toward the sky. And on the next exhale, allow the hands to float out, arms tee out at your shoulders. When the hand touches the floor, inhale and gradually bring the hands back up to touch at the top. Exhale, let the hands float back down, teeing out to rest on the floor. Inhale, float the hands back up. Exhale, let them float down. 2 more at your breath cycle. Slow it down if I'm going too fast. On the last cycle, when the hands float to the floor, let them stay, let them rest. Palms up. Let the shoulders relax. Check in with head, neck, shoulders. Did we build some tension? Release it. Let the breath be slow and easy. Next inhale, bring the hands back up to touch. Exhale, slowly lower the hands back down to heart center, and they can rest on the belly. Begin to walk the heels and the toes in a little closer. So perhaps the feet are hip-width distance apart. Toes in a little closer to the hips so that we come up on the tiptoes. moving ever so slowly and gently. Next, exhale, drop both knees off the right side of the mat. Let your body lift, roll, curl, however feels right. Pause at the bottom. Next, inhale, slowly lift the knees back up toward the sky. And with the exhale, allow the knees to drop off the left side of the mat. Allow the hips, the shoulders, the heels, the head, everything that wants to move, let it. Let it be organic. Like water, let your body find its own level. Next, inhale, slowly bring the knees through center on your way to dropping them off the right side of the mat. Taking your time and not rushing the breath pattern, your next inhale, take the knees up and slowly over to drop them off the left side of the mat. Begin to become aware if one side of the body feels different than the other. Not right and wrong and no judgment, awareness. Inhale, come through center. Last time, drop the knees to the right. We want that awareness so that we can give the body what it needs. Not necessarily what we're asking for, but what it needs. Inhale through center and exhale, knees to the left. Your next inhale, bring the knees back to center. Lift both hands up overhead. And we'll roll gently and carefully onto our right side, leaving the knees bent, but allow the knees to stack, the elbow or the ankles to stack. Draw your hands in, perhaps interlaced behind your head. Rest your right cheek on your right arm and let your left arm cradle your head. So the elbows may come to kiss. When we have our head nicely sandwiched between our arms, curling up like a little bean in this little fetal position. Leave the feet and the knees where they are. Next, inhale, gently raise the left elbow. Open it like a book. Let the left elbow roll open as far toward the other side of the mat as feels right in your body. Just a little reclined twist here. Most of the twist will be at the belly button, but you may have a nice big stretch in the armpit, upper chest area. Moving with your breath cycle, exhale to roll back over and close the elbows, coming back into that fetal position. Stay here for a breath cycle if you'd like. And when you're ready, moving with the inhale, slowly roll open, opening the heart to the sky as we have a gentle twist in the mid body. Moving with your breath. Exhale when we bring the elbows to touch. Inhale when we slowly come open. Let's do one more complete cycle. And when you get back to the final elbows open pose, leaving your hands connected to your head, lift your knees back through center, shift your hips, and bring your knees to the left. That should put us back in the open position. And then with our breath, the exhale, we'll roll the right elbow closed, lifting up and over. coming into the fetal position again. Let's hold here for a breath cycle. And next, inhale, slowly open the right elbow out. So the back comes to the mat, the heart is open to the sky. Hips and knees and heels are gently stacked. A soft twist in the mid-body. A gentle stretch. The upper chest, the upper back, the armpit may be different from the other side. Now let's move with the breath, moving with your breath. Next, exhale, roll it close. Elbow comes to elbow. And on the inhale, we roll it open. Elbows come wide. Following your breath, the exhale takes us close. And the inhale opens us out. One more like that. Finish in the open position, heart to the sky. Then lift the knees, come back to center. Unwind this and return to your constructive rest. Hands to your belly. Walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. Recenter yourself on the mat if you need. Drop the knees together. Revisit the constructive rest. Then gently walk the feet into hip width distance, let the knees separate and be independent. Hands can rest on the belly or maybe come down to the sides, palms up. We'll work the lower body just a little bit. Very subtle movements here. On our inhale, we're going to tip the pelvis toward the toes and let an exaggerated arch come into the low back. And on the exhale, we'll gently press the low back into the mat as we tip the pelvis toward the nose. Inhale to gently roll the pelvis away, finding the arch. Exhale to gently roll the pelvis up closer and pressing into the low back. And move with your breath rhythm. Think of these as upside down cat-cows. So find that feeling of flexion and extension, of articulation through the spine, and find the level of intensity that feels right in your body. Maybe you'd like to curl up a little further or rock down a little lower. Find whatever feels right for you. Now let's add on to this. Hands down by the hips as the pelvis tips toward the toes. Find that position. As you exhale and the pelvis tips toward the nose, let the hands float up and maybe over. As you inhale, the pelvis rolls down, the hands come closer to the hips. Find that motion where you're rocking the pelvis and adding some motion through the shoulders. When the pelvis is tipped down toward the toes, so are the fingers. When the pelvis is tipped up toward the nose, so are the fingers. So again, just finding some gentle movement, some soft articulation. Finish out the last one of those and come back to center. Drop the hands down by your hips, palms down. Feet hip width distance apart. Gently press your shoulders down into the mat. Gaze stays lifted, chin in line with your sternum, and release the shoulders. Gently press the shoulders down into the mat. Press down through the upper arms as well, and gently release. This time on our inhale, as we press shoulders into the mat, lift the hips for a soft bridge. So perhaps this first one is just nice and straight, not a lot of curve underneath it. Pressing down through heels, lifting toes, pressing through the shoulders. Heels can push away. And we'll hold. Continuing to breathe, soft, long inhales, softer, longer exhales. Next exhale, softly lower the hips almost to the mat, and with the inhale, lift right back up. 5 of those, softly lowering the hips almost to the mat on the exhale, and raising back up on the inhale. Move at your breath rhythm. I may be too fast or too slow. But 5 of those. When you've found the 5th one, lower the low back all the way to the mat. Walk the toes out, drop the knees in. Find your way back to constructive rest. Walk the heels back into hip width distance, allowing your knees to separate again. Moving with your breath. A nice long inhale in this neutral position. On an exhale, curl the right knee into your chest, hands over or under. Draw the knee into your chest and hold. Relax the foot. Relax the leg. Let the hands be in control. Let the hands support the lower leg. With the inhale, as the belly expands and pushes the thigh away, on the exhale, draw the thigh in a little closer to the torso. Inhale to find the resistance of the belly pushing against the thigh. And the exhale, as the belly softens, the thigh comes in a little closer. Inhale compresses the belly. Exhale draws the thigh in just a little closer. Moving like you're in slow motion, slide the right foot back to the mat. Knee is bent and lifted. Inhale in the neutral position. Exhale, left knee comes into the chest. Notice if it's different. Take the breath, the moment to relax the hip, the knee, the ankle, the foot. Allow the leg to just rest on the torso. Hands clasp over or under. Let the weight of the hands and arms softly bring the thigh a little closer to the torso. Moving with your breath, the inhale inflates the belly, compresses, and the exhale as the belly softens, gently tease the left thigh closer to the torso. Holding it against the compression of the inhale, and with the exhale, the thigh softens into the torso another millimeter. Inhale.
Inhale to massage the internal organs with that compression. Exhale, soften and allow the hamstrings to stretch. Slowly allow the left foot to float to the mat. We're going to turn this into a little more active hamstring stretch here. You can use a strap if you'd like. I generally find that just my hands behind my thigh is enough. We're still in sort of a bridge formation. Shoulders relaxed to the mat, hips nicely, firmly established to the earth. Heels near hips, knees bent and lifted. Start on an inhale by raising the right leg up. Bring the hands behind the thigh. Strap can go to a thigh or a foot if you'd like, but just lift the toes as far as is easily comfortable. And then allow the weight of the right leg to settle into the socket, taking the weight of the leg to the earth. Just allow the leg upright but relaxed. Not stretching, not pulling, just using the hands to support the weight of the leg. The toes are held to the sky by the invisible energy of the universe. Allow the inhale to fill the belly, and with the exhale, draw the hands a millimeter closer in and encourage the leg to come along. The knee can be bent or the toes can be straight. Inhale to find the compression of the belly and the thigh. Exhale to draw the thigh in a tiny bit closer. Inhale to find the compression. Exhale to draw the thigh in a tiny bit closer. One more time, one more millimeter. Bend the knee and allow the heel to drift toward the hip and fully relax. Let the weight of the leg be supported by the torso and the hands. But let the muscles of the leg be limp and loose. Release the clasp on the thigh. Slide the hands down to find a half happy baby. So right hand to shin, to pants, to ankle, to foot. Find a half happy baby. Knees down, sole of the foot shining in the sky. We breathe. Allow the heel to drop back to the hip once again. Hands come back to the knee, under or over. Heel is relaxed down on top of the hip and the leg is limp. And we'll go one more time. Inhale to send the toes up toward the sky. Bring the hands behind the thigh. Hands are a strap. And with every exhale, a tiny bit, we bring the thigh closer to the torso, a tiny bit. If you feel a stretch, make sure it's in the big part of the muscle, not at the base of the knee or the base of the hip, but in the meat of the muscle. Inhale to find compression with the thigh and the torso. Exhale, stretch the hamstring, pulling the thigh closer just a micromillimeter. Point the toes. Allow the heel to drift down toward the hip one more time. Let the leg completely relax. And then with control, release the hands. Allow the right knee to drop out to the side, heels still near the hip. Think fallen tree. And allow the leg to just softly go wide. Check in with your tension spots, forehead, jaw, shoulders, hips. Soften. Moving with your breath on the inhale, raise the right knee up, sole of the foot comes to the earth. We come back to our bridge formation. And let's go with the left leg. Next, inhale, draw the left knee into your chest, hands above or behind the knee, and just draw it in and hold. Then slowly we'll straighten the left leg. Allow the weight of the leg to drop back into the hip socket and the low back to firmly anchor to the earth. Knee can stay bent or toes can reach for the sky. If toes reach up, you might play with pointing, flexing, rolling the ankle. Just explore how that feels. Then slowly, with each exhale, draw the thigh into the torso a tiny bit more. Inhale, the belly is compressed, the internal organs are massaged. Exhale, the thigh and the torso come a little closer together. One more breath cycle here. And then bend the left knee, drop the heel toward the hip. Find your half happy baby. Left hand comes inside to the shin, the pants, the ankle, the foot. A half happy baby. Knees wide, sole of the foot to the sky. Release the happy baby, bring the hands back under or on top of the knee. Let the hip and the heel come close together once again. We'll finish this out, this gentle hamstring stretch. Inhale and send the toes high. Straighten as much as you would like or as little as you would like through the left leg. Inhales as the belly expands, it compresses against the thigh. Exhale, the thigh comes closer to the belly. Gentle, soft, micromillimeter at a time with each breath cycle. Softly bend the left knee, fold the leg, heel comes to the hip. Release the tension in the low back, and then drop the left knee wide. Think fallen tree. Any tension, scan for it and find it and release it. Left knee is dropped wide. Let's join the right knee as well. So bring the soles of the feet together and find a reclined butterfly. Soles of the feet press together, heels, arches of the foot, edge of the foot, the base of the toes, the knees drop wide. Bring your hands to inner thighs if that feels okay. Then bring hands to outer thighs, moving with your breath, slowly and deliberately. Next, exhale, use the hands to guide the knees closer together. We're flapping our butterfly wings, closing the knees back up at center. And on the inhale, we can use the hands to guide. The knees slowly drop open again, our butterfly wings. Engage the inner thigh muscles. Don't use the hands if you don't need to. Close the knees, working abductors and adductors. Slowly let the knees spread wide on the inhale. We'll do 2 more of these butterfly wings. Exhale is when the knees lift and close together. Inhale is when the knees drop wide. Last one, finish out your butterfly. And then slide one leg long and then the other. We've done some good hip and hamstring openers. Let's have a little fun with that now. So let's roll to the left side and find yourself lying on your left side. I call this fallen chair. Bring your bicep underneath your cheek. Bend your knees, hips in line with heels, as if you were sitting in a chair and you had sort of tipped over. So find that fallen butterfly or fallen chair position. Now the head can rest down on the bicep. That's probably the safest place to do it. Or you can lift up a little bit so that the hand can support your head. Make sure that doesn't stress your neck. Knees are bent and out in front of you. Heels in line with hips. Lift the right knee toward the sky. Just roll it open. It's almost like a tree once again. Find that position. Then bring the right hand down inside the leg. If you want a strap, you might want to grab that now. We're going to fold the right knee in toward the right shoulder with the right hand inside. So now right hand is down by the arch of the right foot. Peace sign fingers or your strap, find the right foot. And we slowly begin to straighten the right knee. Coming into sleeping Vishnu. Now you can stay right here with a bend in the knee or the knee straight. And perhaps you let the weight of the shoulders, a little bend in the elbow, encourage the leg to go a little higher and the toes to perhaps inch their way as if they were going to come overhead. Stay stacked on the left hip. Softly bend into the right knee just a little bit and then straighten again. Don't lock it out. Remember to breathe. Sleeping Vishnu. And slowly fold the right knee. Let the right heel drift down toward the floor. Keep hold of the toe for just a moment as we encourage the heel to be a little closer to the hip. We'll hold here for just a breath to build some muscle memory. Then release the right toe. Stretch the leg out long. Roll over on your back. Take a good morning stretch. Arms go overhead. Arms reach, fingers reach for one wall, toes reach for the other. Find a nice long juicy stretch. And then roll to the other side. Right arm goes up so that you can rest the cheek on the bicep. Knees bend and come forward, heels come in line with hips. Find this little fetal position for just a breath, and then we'll move into our sleeping Vishnu. Stack the body, heels, knees, hips, shoulders, and then as you're ready, roll the left knee toward the sky. Hold here for a moment, just pressing it open. And begin to slide the left hand inside as the left knee folds and comes up toward the left shoulder. Left hand down by the arch of the foot. If you want a strap, find it. Otherwise, take hold of the foot. I like to hold peace sign fingers around the big toe and slowly straighten the knee as we press the foot toward the ceiling. Flex the toes toward the nose so you get nice long length down the inside of the thigh. Soft but strong knee, so don't lock it out, but make it soft and strong. Breathe. If there's a tight spot, can you send some breath, some prana to that place? Can you soften the shoulder, soften the elbow, and perhaps bring the toes a little more in line with the ears or the crown of the head. Then softly bend the left knee just a bit, and we'll straighten once again. We'll find the length, the strength. One more time. And softly bend the left knee, drop the heel down toward the hip. Keep hold of the foot for the moment, as we can use the hand to draw the heel just a little closer to the hip. So we build a little muscle memory and remind the hips how flexible they really are. Slowly, softly release that. Find yourself back on your back. And take another good morning stretch. Arms up long, toes out long. Then bring the hands back to the belly, soles of the feet back to the mat, heels near hips, knees bent and lifted. Let's get in a little twist here before a well-deserved Shavasana. Take the right foot to the sky one more time. Draw the knee in a little closer to the nose. Take an eagle legs twist. Right knee comes across left. And you can drop the right leg to just hover. But find the bind, find the connection between right thigh and left thigh, all the way up the groin. If you'd like to finish the twist, wiggle around and get the right foot behind the left calf. That way you've got some traction, some torsion, really massaging the lymph glands there. Check in that you've not rocked too far over to one hip. Let your low back be level to the mat. In fact, try a little massage of the low back from side to side. Send both arms to the sky. Right arm goes down toward the legs as the left elbow comes inside the right, and we find the eagle bind here. Backs of the hands together or palm to palm. Allow the hands to drift up overhead. Let the biceps come to the face. Let the shoulders stretch. And slowly lift the hands, the arms, the elbows. Bring the elbows back to the chest. Unwind the arms. Send them wide. Unwind the legs. Send them wide. Find a 5-pointed star flat on your back. And slowly fold the hands and arms back in. Bring the feet back to the mat. Find your way back to our bridge position. Heels near hips, knees bent and raised. Left leg goes to the sky. Bringing the left knee forward toward the nose so that the left leg can cross over right, really high on the thigh. So we get the lymph nodes there at the groin, a nice little compression. Let the left leg just hang if that feels good. But if you'd like to continue the bind, left foot wraps on your right. Walk it around, wiggle it, make that bind happen. And then check with your low back. Find level with your low back. Try the little massage. Rocking from side to side, see how that feels. Send the hands to the sky. Left elbow drifts toward the knees as the right elbow comes inside, and we find the bind on this side. Backs of the hands touch, or perhaps palm to palm. Then allow the arms to go up overhead. Bringing the biceps to the face. As we find a bit more stretch across the backs of the shoulders at the top of that armpit joint. Continue to breathe. Nice, long, slow inhales and longer, slower exhales. And with control and with your breath, unwind, spread out, find your fallen star. Then slowly draw the left foot into center, draw the right foot in. Left arm comes in, right arm comes in. Bring the knees in toward the nose, hands on top. And curl up like a little ball. Knees to the nose to the knees, and squeeze in. Compress everything. Squeeze your nose, your toes, your fingers, your shoulders, your hips. Squeeze everything in, all of the compression. And then when you're ready, release. Find your way to Shavasana. You might finish the way we started in constructive rest. Going back to knees bent and lifted, heels on the floor, knees walk or feet walked wide so that the legs can lean on each other. Or perhaps a traditional Shavasana where you send the legs long, wide as the mat. And allow the toes, the ankles, the hips to roll open. Squeeze the glutes just a little to walk them into center, and then release them again. Check in with your breath. Check in with your body. Scan softly from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Relax the big muscle in your forehead. Soften your eyes. Soften your eyes again. Unclench your jaw. Let your cheeks melt. Let your shoulders sink into the mat. Arms, hands, fingers, totally relaxed. Let your heart be open, your belly soft. Let your hips be easy. Unclench your butt. Unclench your butt again. Check in with thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, toes. Where can you find 1% more comfort? 1% more ease? Most importantly, check in with your breath. What is your breath telling you now? Long, slow inhales, full exhales. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice how the belly rises and falls. The chest expands and contracts. Notice that the shoulders and the hips move as well. Allow that soft motion, that gentle awareness to spread down into fingers and toes. Find some small wiggles, some gentle movements. Massage the back of the head on the mat. Roll the ankles, the wrist. Drop the toes in together so that the hips roll. Squeeze and relax muscles. Find gentle movements, small stretches. Let them get larger and larger. As you're ready, let those gentle movements guide you back to your right side. Curl up. Curl up on your right side for 3 breaths. Long, slow inhales. Long, slow exhales. At the end of that 3rd breath, slowly, gently, carefully make your way back to seated. And we'll close out today's practice. I like to end the practice in a traditional manner to honor the roots of yoga. So I, as the teacher, thank you as the student for sharing your time, your light, your love, your energy with me, for allowing me the honor of guiding the practice. The light in me sees, honors, and reflects the light in you. May peace be yours today, tomorrow, and always. May joy gladden your heart, and may laughter fill your days. And may love lead your way on. Namaste. Let me make my way gracefully over to the computer.
Same here. Normally it's just a bunch of shuffling on my knees to get to the computer screen.
I just crawled over on my hands.
Yeah.
That's right. So I would love some feedback, some comments, questions, anything you've got for me. I know I'm not a fill-in for Steve, but I did the best I could while I'm not sure if he's under the weather. I don't know. He just needed the night off, and I said I would be happy to fill in for him. So any feedback you have for me, I would love.
Very calming presence, which was wonderful. Very nice, just gentle movement, things like that. So yeah, just sometimes you don't know what you need till you get it.
Till you get it. Well, I had a plan for us to do some standing stuff, bracketed by some rolling around on the floor stuff. And the rolling around on the floor stuff felt so good that I thought, you know what? I don't think I want to stand up anymore today. I just don't think I want to. I think I wanted just somebody to cover me with a blanket.
You know what? That's actually, like I said, you don't know that you need it until you get it. And it was wonderful.
Well, good. Thank you.
Yeah. No, the hour went by super quick, considering that, you're just kind of stretching here and there and stuff. It just,
some gentle movement.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you.
I heard you well, which is good.
Music okay? Not too tinny? Not okay.
Nope, it was good. There was only a couple times where I had to kind of look to make sure what I was doing matched yours. But other than that, that's just mostly I second guess myself.
Well, quite often though, every teacher, while we all use the same language, we don't. We all have little shortcut words. We all have little patterns that we all link together. And then we start assuming that everybody knows what comes after. So we all have those.
Right.
So, that's part of it too. I will tell you that little hamstring stretch series that we did where we drew the knee in and out. I discovered that, stumbled across it. COVID time, this day, next day, other day, who knows what day. Anyway, sometime this winter, spring, I stumbled across that. And it's super, super gentle. It's no big deal, right? I started adding that. When I teach and I find something I love, I teach everybody.
Right.
So I started adding that little stretch, that very super deceptively gentle stretch sequence into my classes about 3 times a week. And I found that in my body, my hamstrings opened like nobody's business.
Huh.
And it wasn't big dramatic stretches. It was that little sneaky folding your knee into your chest and leaving it.
Yeah.
And then fold it a breath and a breath. Hamstrings are stubborn.
They are.
And they stretch so slowly. But I found that little subtle stretch, if I feed that in, it's been amazing how my hamstrings and my hips have opened. And that's been the one big change that I've made. So that one I recommend to you. It's just, it's low, slow, deceptively simple, and yet.
And you can do it watching TV.
Absolutely. And a lot of times.
But that's what I'm doing nothing. So I might as well stretch it and then,
And a lot of times what I will do in a more active class is I take that same shape and then we turn it into leg extensions that becomes rapidly a very good core exercise.
Yes.
Because legs are heavy.
Yes.
And when you're supporting the weight of your legs with your belly, when you're laying on your back, core engaged.
We don't realize how much you're lifting on a daily basis until you move into a different position and give them a different way to look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the recurring classes I teach is a beginner's class at the university. And the first time I have them go into a Warrior 2, and I talk 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 and I talk. And we stand there and you watch these young college
His
students.
arms go and their legs are burning.
Because your arms are heavy.
Yes.
And we
yes.
don't, our normal day to day, we don't do that. You reach your arm out and you draw it in. You don't reach it out and just hold it. Just hold it. That's all. And how often in your day to day life, now it's not fair for me because I'm a yoga teacher, but in your day to day life, how often are you called upon to send your hand straight up and just hold it?
Right.
We don't.
Right.
So those little muscles in the whole shoulder girdle, the first time are sort of going, what are we, I don't like this. Do we have to do this anymore?
I thought it was just stretching. No.
Alexis, with this class I teach at the university, it provides they're puppies in a basket. It's so much fun. They have to do these little written exercises for me, these sort of, what do you think kind of things. Three things. What did you learn? What did you notice? And what question do you still have? And one of the ones that comes up every time, I thought it was just stretching.
Yeah.
Yoga is harder than I thought it was. Yoga is not what I thought it was. Learning to breathe has changed my life. Meditation has helped me deal with anxiety, stress, anger, fill in the blank.
Right.
It is not what they thought it was going to be.
Right.
Well,
they have this, a lot of people can't do it because they can't sit still even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we teach them something else. A lot of the kids, like you said, they can't yet sit still for meditation. But if I get them moving in a good flowing asana, they're meditating, they just don't know it.
Exactly.
So it's just a moving meditation.
You're using your breath and your body in a way. Yes.
Yeah. Just sneaking that one up on you.
That's right.
And I laugh as the quarter or the semester progresses. They start to see behind the curtain that maybe all of this was not random. That maybe the old lady had a plan. But anyway, Alexis, get out of here. Thank you for sharing the evening with me.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you showing up and
Absolute
giving me a wonderful hour to just be on my mat. So
Absolute
I appreciate it.
And if Steve needs a sub next week, we'll get to the part I didn't get to tonight.
Okay. Like I said, I'm open to anything. So whatever you'd like to teach, I'm here for.
I'm with you. I generally find that rather than looking for something, if I am just open to whatever comes, there was a piece in there I needed that I would not have known to ask for, but the universe knows. I know woo-woo yoga teacher. I used to be very logical, left brain. I now believe the universe talks to me, and the universe sends me things and sets me up if I'm just open to the experience without much expectation. Just what have you got? What am I receptive to?
Right.
And I've taken classes I enjoyed more than other classes. The mood, the time of the day, what's going on, the teacher's voice. But I've never taken a class that did not in some way benefit me.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Never. So anyway, preaching to the choir. Thanks for hanging out with me. Get out of here. It was nice to meet you. Maybe one of these days it'll be a face-to-face.
Sounds
All right.
Good. All right.
All right, Alexis. Have a good evening.
You
Good night.
Too. Good night.